Confession of a Bartender. I've always been good with people. That's what they say about bartenders, right? We listen, we smile, we pour, and we make you feel like the room is warmer just because you walked in. That's my trick. Making people feel comfortable enough to let their guard down. But you'd be amazed at what people leave behind when they're drunk. Wallets, phones, sometimes a scrap of paper with an address, or a room number scribbled from a hotel. They think it's all harmless. They think the worst that'll happen is a tab charge or a missed call. They don't realize I see everything. The bar is my hunting ground. You watch the ones who drink too fast, whose eyes glaze over but whose mouths keep moving. You know exactly how much to top them off so they don't stumble just enough to need help. I'm always there, friendly bartender. Good old me. Don't worry, I'll call you a cab. I'll make sure you're safe. They never ask where the cab goes. Never question when I walk them out the back instead of the front. Do you know what it feels like carrying someone who's half awake and whispering thank you, thinking you're their savior, when really you're walking them straight into something they'll never walk out of? Their gratitude tastes better than the liquor. And the basement? Oh, I don't think you'd want to see it. The bar is old, built on the bones of the city. Brick walls, damp air, a soundproofed little corner I made my own. People scream, but no one hears. Not over the jukebox and laughter upstairs. Do you know how surreal it is, pouring whiskey for one customer, while someone else is chained and sobbing just beneath your feet? It's like living two lives at once. I keep trophies. Not the cliché kind. Nothing flashy like jewelry or clothes. No, I prefer something subtle. A lock of hair taped inside my recipe book. Teeth slipped into a jar behind the bitters. Names scrawled in my ledger, right where I jot down drink orders. My regulars joke about the secret menu. They don't know how right they are. Sometimes, when the bar is crowded and I'm shaking cocktails, I can feel their eyes on me, the ones I took. Like their souls are still tethered to this place, swirling through the smoke and stale beer smell. Sometimes customers get goosebumps at their stool and mutter, "Feels weird in here tonight." That's just the dead brushing against them. They still want a drink. And here's the part that'll stick with you. I've probably served you before. Maybe I smiled when I slid the glass across. Maybe you tipped me, and I thanked you, warmly, like you were the only person in the room. You might have even thought, I like this bartender. You should be careful with thoughts like that, because the ones who like me most are the ones who vanish. You probably think bartenders are harmless. Just people who pour your drinks, listen to your ramblings, and clean up the mess when you're too far gone. People mistake us for background noise, when in reality, we're the ones that see everything you'd rather keep hidden. The things people confess after their fourth whiskey. Affairs, regrets, dark little fantasies they'd never breathe to their spouse or their priest. They tell me because I smile, because I nod, because I look like I care. I don't. I collect those secrets. I line them up in my head like bottles on a shelf. I know more about the patrons than their families ever will. And sometimes, I can't resist nudging them just a little further down the road they've already started walking. That's the part nobody notices, how much influence we have. A little extra pour, a softer word, a well-timed silence. I can make you drink faster without realizing. I can make you doubt yourself with just the way I tilt my head. By the time I hand you your coat at the end of the night, you've convinced yourself the choices were all yours. They weren't. It's not about poison or force. No, that would be too crude. It's about permission. About making somebody believe they wanted what happened next, that they walked willingly into the dark. All I do is open the door. They step through on their own. The cruelest irony? People call me their friend. They say I've saved their lives, that I've talked them off ledges. Maybe I did. Maybe I just pushed them toward a quieter, darker ledge only I can see. Either way, they trust me completely. They always do. And that's the real horror, isn't it? That you might not even notice when it's happening. That the person smiling behind the bar, topping off your glass, could be dismantling you piece by piece while you mistake it for kindness. So if you ever walk out of a bar and feel like something inside you has shifted, and you've given away a part of yourself you can't quite name, you'll know why. I was working that night, and I was smiling at you.